Hello and welcome back again to AskMbithe, the place for your financial insights, financial empowerment. Today, I am Teacher Mbithe. You know why? We are discussing personal net worth. In my last video, I referenced the fact that you need to take ownership of your finances, and how you can start is by evaluating what do I owe vis-a-vis what do I owe others. In other words, what are my assets? What are my liabilities? Assets minus my liabilities are my personal net worth. Today, as Teacher Mbithe, I want to walk you through how do you calculate your personal net worth. I would say take a second, get a pen and paper, let's do this. I have a board, which I would encourage each and every one of you to get. It helps you put some numbers into perspective, and it helps you in the long term as you're planning your financial vision. So here goes. What you do, assets, you put them on one side, liabilities on another side. Assets, what I own as Mbithe. Liabilities, what I owe others. Assets include land, either something that you have been given as an inheritance or a plot that you have bought. They also include houses. If you have a mortgage, the house that you're staying in, the value of that house is included here. If you have rentals, those houses are also included here. If you have a house up country, kama umejenga nyumbani na hiyo nyumba ni yako, hata kama ulipatiwa, that is still your house and it's an asset. After that, we also have investments. Investments would include stocks. If you have put money in things such as Safaricom or Kengen, most of these IPOs that happened over the last decade or slightly over a decade, if you have put money in the government of Kenya as bonds or T-bills, if you have also put money in your bank as a fixed deposit or a call deposit account, that is an investment. And then there's this other common one. Umeweka pesa kwa biashara ama hustle ya rafiki yako, that amount of money is also part of what you can call your investments. Then we have your cash. What do you have in your bank account as your savings account or your current account? What is sitting in your M-Pesa account? What is sitting in your M-Shwari account? What is sitting in your wallet? All this cash is also an asset for you. What you're saying is an asset is something that you own and also brings value to you. A car is also an asset. It helps you in your day-to-day. It has value and you must be able to put it here. And then finally, but not the least or the last one, we have what we call retirement assets. Something that most people forget to actually calculate. If you're in formal employment and you're lucky enough, your employer maybe pays for you pension. This pension asset is part of your asset. You can go to your HR department and ask them to give you a value estimation. Then what you do is you get the total of this value and you total it up and you get a value. Liabilities. What do you owe people? Do you have a loan? Whether a personal loan or a credit card loan, or if you're paying for a mortgage. Do you owe your friends or other people money? You know, do you have credit? Do you have credit from Mama Mboga or the shops that you go and buy? Or even ladies, have you been buying dresses and shoes and makeup and hair and not paying for it? Have you been incurring services and not paying for those? All those are considered to be your liabilities. And then there's also insurance. If you have a life insurance cover or an education cover, there's the obligation that you have to pay each and every month. So you tally up that for the year and then you put it here. So insurance policies, you put them here. And then any other thing that you owe other people, you sum it up here and you get the total value of your liabilities. So here it is, but I'll give you a better perspective. You can actually see it off my computer there. This is part of the material that I use to teach people through webinars, which you can let me know if you're interested in. So we'd add up your assets, you deduct your liabilities, and then you get what your personal net worth is. Now, if your assets are more than your liabilities, you have a positive net worth. What I'm saying is, for instance, if this was 1,000 and this is 800, if this is 200, you have a positive net worth. If, for example, let's take another figure. if this is 800, if this is 800 and this is 1,000, then you have a negative net worth of 200. You've probably taken on too many loans instead of buying assets. The negative net worth mostly comes about when you take a loan to buy an asset and the value of the asset is not as high as you expected it. Let me give you an example. When you take a loan to buy a house, maybe for 2 million, the house is at 2 million, but you owe the bank more than 2 million. If you take out a loan at 10% for 4 years, every year you're paying the bank 200,000. By the end of the 4 years, your loan amount will have been 2.8 million. So on one side, you'll have a liability of 2.8. On the other side, you'll have an asset of 2 million, leaving you with a negative balance of 800,000. So what you need to always focus on is, even when you're taking loans to buy assets, consider what is the cost of these loans and are they helping me enhance my personal net worth? This is the thing that you need to look at least once in your life. You know that time when you're making your annual resolutions? You put the numbers here and say, how do I want this number to grow? And I always challenge myself and say this. Safaricom just announced its numbers. Its profits were up 14%. So I challenge myself and say, AskMbithe, I want my personal net worth to improve by 20%. So that if it's positive at 1 million, for example, I want to increase it by 200,000 in the next year. And the moment I put it in that perspective and have that mental framework, then anytime I'm making a decision in the year, I'm like, is this decision enhancing my financial well-being or is it taking us back? So that's an overview of the first and foremost financial statement that you need to have. Personal net worth, assets minus liabilities, gives you the figure. If your assets are more, it's positive. If your assets are less, it's negative. Do it at least once a year, but more importantly, do it now, because all of this COVID is changing how we look at the world and how we engage and how we enhance our revenue. So I would say do it now, and you can be able to join me if you're not able to do it by yourself. I can walk you through this because I do have a personal financial coaching class that I always host on a regular basis. I will leave my contacts. You can reach out to me, we can do this exercise, and we can actually help you create your magic number and work towards getting it. See you for the next session.